What's Trending is presented by BYU Food to Go, the MVP of your next event. What a win for the BYU Cougars against number 21 Creighton, the Dallin Hall game winner with 12 seconds to go. That's twice now. Dallin has done that just months off of his mission. So, Sheb, how would you describe how badly BYU needed that win?
Yeah, they needed it really bad. And look, they needed a win against whoever it was. The fact that it came against a ranked team, and I do not care that Kalkbrenner did not play for the Blue Jays.
I do for fantasy.
Well, okay. But in terms of the game, that I'm not even worried about that. BYU needed a win against anybody, and the fact that they got it against a ranked opponent that, granted, had come in losing 3 in a row.
Yeah.
The teams they had lost to were the number 2 team, the number 14 team, and Nebraska. So this is a team that was playing well, and at times in this year had been ranked as high as number 7. Mm-hmm. So I think what I took away the most was just how resilient BYU was, because the Blue Jays come out and they're hot from 3, and BYU could have wilted under that, because here we go again, a situation like that. But they didn't. They kept fighting back, and I love the way that they did it. Whether it was Rudy Williams, whether it was Richie Saunders, whoever it was, they were driving to the basket. They were getting opportunities at the rim, and I loved it. If the outside shot isn't falling, take it to the rim, and I thought Rudy was absolutely brilliant doing that. Now, obviously, things got much closer at the end than what we all would have liked. I'm going to assume they're going to work on the press a lot this week. I know they already do, but yeah, some really costly turnovers could have cost BYU the game. But the fact that they were able to fight from that as well, come back, you mentioned Dallin Hall, following up his own missed shot, getting the board, that was a much-needed win, and hopefully something that can be a turnaround game for this program moving forward. Yeah, we'll talk about the next step in a sec, but just straight up, your point is exactly right about it didn't matter who BYU played. They just needed to win. And to have it be Creighton, a team that really took it to BYU. BYU lost by 12 last year. It felt like 28. That was a big win. And no Kalkbrenner. Yeah, there was no Spencer Johnson for BYU either, who at one point was BYU's leading scorer. Kalkbrenner, 7-1. Like a 18-7 guy, shooting like 76%. That was a big deal that he didn't play. Didn't hurt me in fantasy, luckily. But the point is that BYU won. The point is that BYU won, and they got one of those wins, like a San Diego State, now a Creighton, a Utah on Saturday. Makes it way more interesting, because we saw the high from this team. What was the high before this, Yep? Beating Missouri State at home, Nichols. 19 threes against Westminster.
The comeback versus Dayton. Why are you going down by so much? It was certainly the Dayton game. But, no, we don't reference it. By the way, BYU, I think, has made 18 threes since the Westminster game. It's been 3 games. So they used all of them up in that one game, unfortunately. Big-time win, really resilient, like you said. Obviously, BYU up 11 with 3:26 to go. I put my feet up. I was like, hey, we're cruising to this win. No. Suddenly, BYU turns it over 6 times in 2:14. That was terrible. Terrible. We'll talk to Richie Saunders about, okay, how did you guys, navigate that? Because you could have totally collapsed. They suddenly are down with 26 seconds to go, and Dallin Hall rise up. When in BYU history has BYU, when it had upperclassmen, chose to use a freshman in this way? Yeah. I'm not talking about Mark Bigelow as a freshman and BYU's trying to rebuild the program type stuff. This is a situation where you have a 5th-year senior in Rudy Williams, and you've got other guys who have been at – Jackson Robinson's been at 2 SEC programs, that you're choosing to use a true freshman. It says a lot about Dallin and him making that shot and following it up, which was ironic because he had struggled to shoot the ball in this game. Reminded me a little bit of Craig Cusick versus Utah State, where Craig was terrible in that game. Good call. Going through a lot off the court, obviously, with his dad, finding out that day he had cancer. But Dallin in this game, struggles in the same way that Craig did in that game. Game-winning shot. Didn't matter. All's forgiven. Yeah, BYU needed a win. They got it. Now we get to see what a win like that can do for this program. As you mentioned, 2 games. You have Western Oregon Thursday, and then your rival coming in on Saturday. Utah's top 20 net. Yes. This is a quad 1 home game for BYU that is certainly going to be very interesting. And now I'm way more excited for that game than I was pre-Creighton, because obviously before Creighton it was like, what is this team right now? Oh my gosh, they're not playing great ball. Nice win. Hopefully they cruise through D2 Western Oregon, and then, hey, big game with Utah, which is the second half is during the bowl game.
That's
we got
right.
a little head-to-head.
There'll be a lot of overlapping of football and basketball coming up on Saturday.
But everyone will be listening to you.
Yes.
Call the game on the
Yes,
radio.
Greg will be calling the football game on radio. I will be calling the basketball game on radio. So it should be a fun day. Hopefully 2 wins. That's the hope, obviously.